We now welcome in ESPN senior writer Kevin Pelton to talk about this NBA trade deadline with us. It's happening in 2 weeks. So what we want to know, everyone loves a big name, a big splashy trade, right? So is there a big name that you could see potentially being traded, and where to?
I don't think it's going to be Bradley Beal at this point. So if you look at one player who could really swing the championship race, I think it's Kyle Lowry in Toronto. The Raptors don't have to make a move. They've got the easiest schedule in the second half of the season, according to BPI. So I think they're going to safely avoid that play-in tournament in the East. But at the same time, this doesn't look like a deep playoff run for the Raptors. And with a guy at his age, in the last year of his contract, I think you have to consider a move. You can get multiple first-round picks, some of those in young talent, and even though he's the best player in Raptors history. So I think if he does get moved, Philadelphia, to me, is the logical destination. Daryl Morey traded for Lowry in Houston, then sent him to Toronto, got one of the picks that turned into James Harden in that deal subsequently. And he would be a great fit there, providing some late-game offense that Ben Simmons doesn't usually provide, and providing them a lot of playoff experience. So if that does happen, you just mentioned Aldridge, watch out. If Toronto gets expiring contracts back for Kyle Lowry, maybe they get in on Aldridge or Andre Drummond with those players.
I really like that theory. I mean, I would have liked Bradley Beal out of Washington more, but I
mean, you know me, I only care about Bradley Beal, but that all of a sudden just got my attention real
insane
quickly.
amount of sense. But it's too much sense, in fact. So, Kevin, give me something that is outside of the rumor mill. We ain't really heard about it. Nobody's thinking about it. Who's going to make that splash trade happen come deadline day?
I mean, this is not one I think is necessarily going to happen, but I do think it's logical, is what if we reunited the Ball brothers in Charlotte? Ooh. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's dangerous. LeVar Ball might think he runs the team, and they signed LiAngelo. But I do think it makes basketball sense. This trade I'm proposing here, the Hornets are kind of selling high on Terry Rozier, who's playing the best basketball of his career right now, but he's several years older than Lonzo. And I think they could use Lonzo's size because this is a team that's switching more than any other team in the league right now and playing more zone defense than any team on record, according to Second Spectrum tracking. So Lonzo's size is a better fit with that than Terry Rozier, is kind of undersized as a shooting guard. And then on the other side, New Orleans could use Rozier's shooting around Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram, and they also get more cost certainty in this deal because Lonzo is going to be a restricted free agent this offseason, and someone could come in with a big offer for him, whereas Rozier has one more year left on his deal.
Kevin, the only reason why I'm doing this interview is I'm going to ask you a question about my Celtics. So, yeah, that's really the only reason why I'm doing it. So here we go. Danny Ainge wants to tell us that we have this awesome trade exemption that is not used 75% of the time. So, Kevin, explain to me that the Celtics are actually going to use this, or are they just going to let it go away?
Well, I think they got a better chance of using it than most because it's just so large that you can do a lot of different things with it, whether it's a smaller player or a bigger contract that takes up most of that trade exception. And one player I think that makes a lot of sense to watch for the Celtics is Harrison Barnes from Sacramento. You know, the Kings are at some point going to have to face the reality that they're not even really contenders for the play-in the Western Conference. Barnes is 28. This is probably the right time to move him at the peak of his value if you could get multiple first-round picks, depending on what the protections on those might be. And from Boston's standpoint, you know, I think he's a nice fit. Slides in there at power forward, allows Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to play more of their natural spots without this shooting light front court that they've been playing lately with Tristan Thompson and Daniel Tice. And it'd be kind of a similar role to what we saw Harrison Barnes play with the Death lineup back in Golden State. We know that he can be effective, complementing the kind of stars that the Celtics have.
That made too much sense, so that means Danny Ainge won't do it.
Nope, he's going to avoid it like the plague.
I want an NBA where all of Kevin Pelton's, and everything comes to life. That would be so much fun, right?
Yeah.
Everyone, go on ESPN.com. Kevin Pelton has a great piece out right now where he talks about the hiring of NBA coaches and how that affects the diversity we see on the sideline. So make sure you head to ESPN.com. Kevin Pelton, bring in the heat.
One thing I love is that you are outspoken, not only, on the court, but also off the court. And that's trickled down to Twitter. I see what you're doing on the Twitter sphere. And you mentioned Kyrie Irving being, really shifty, right? And you also saluted LaMelo Ball. You said he was a problem. Obviously, I sort of have him already as Rookie of the Year for what he's been able to do. But what kind of problem is LaMelo for his opponents, especially in the East, transitioning to the NBA so well?
His transition, I must be completely honest. My mom and I talk basketball all the time, and
That's so
Love
cute.
your
I
mama, by the
hadn't
way.
got it. She loved you, by the way. I hadn't had a chance to really see LaMelo play much. Obviously, he was in Australia. He was in high school. I'm not really one to follow a ton of high school kids unless I personally know them or they're going to Michigan State. So I didn't really see LaMelo play a lot. And my mom would call me early in the year like, LaMelo good. And I'm like, oh, man, he putting up stats. But a lot of people put up stats. I'm not sure I believe the stats, and I hadn't really watched him play. And as I've watched him play, my goodness, I text my mom not long ago. I said, Mom, you was right. LaMelo is a problem. He's a problem, man.
You know
But I
what?
love his game. He's super fast, which I had no clue he's fast and downhill like that. He's extremely smart. And, he don't even know how to play the NBA game yet. He just out there playing, he like a little kid in the candy store, just out there playing, having fun. But he's very smart. He passed the ball with the best of them already. And he's 6'7". He has incredible size. I think Charlotte, MJ got this one right. And I think that's, that kid is going to be a stud. You speaking rookie of the year. I love Melo's game and what he's doing. Me, I'm riding with mine to the death, so I got to roll with James. And I think as James get back out there over the course of this next half of the season, he'll get back to the top of that rookie ladder like he was at the beginning. But no, LaMelo is a
There you
problem.
go.
Ant-Man as well. Those three right there, Ant-Man, LaMelo, and James, it's going to be a hell of a class as these guys continue to get their career rolling.
You know what else might be a problem when Klay Thompson returns? Your Splash brother. How confident are you the Warriors can win another chip once he gets back on the court?
Very confident. It still hasn't truly been proven that, a streak can be beat, in a 7-game series where
It has not.
we all play and we're not 22 and 23 and 24 years old. That hasn't been proven yet. So I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, we missed Klay. Everybody missed the shooting, but what he just brings on the court as far as his tenacity, just the attitude that he brings. One of the toughest guys I've ever played with. We all talk about light-skinned guys, and Drake has kind of made the light-skinned guy thing. Where the lover boy and all of that stuff. And so Drake is such an icon that we associate all light-skinned guys with the lover boy stuff that
I'm
Drake be
light-skinned,
talking
but I'm
about.
still
And light-skinned, but I'm still I can't say that, but one of the toughest guys I've ever been around. And I'm looking forward to having him back out there on the court next to us.
Okay, Draymond, you partnered with Subway. You have a sub named after you now, the Draymond sub. I want to hear about it. What's in it?
It's steak, it's provolone, and it's Southwest Chipotle sauce. So I love the sub. It's great. And then there's kind of been this battle with Jason's sub as we see here on the screen, which I quite frankly think is ridiculous. Like, his sub doesn't compare. And personally, Jason's sub, as he wanted to make known, has bacon. I don't eat bacon. I don't eat pork. So anybody who's eating Jason's sub, they can have it. But, my sub's the best. And, however, if whoever wants to share their favorite sub, it could possibly not be either one of our subs. There's a billion subs at Subway. But they can
I'm a cold cut trio
share.
girl.
See, and that's the thing. And I got no issues with that. When I used to eat pork, I was actually a cold cut trio as well. But they can share their sub at hashtag on Instagram or Twitter, hashtag my Subway sub. So come let me know what their favorite subs are. But I got to roll with mine. I think it's the best.
I think we're going to have to do a taste test now. The ladies will first take her take. I think it's time for a taste test. Will it be Draymond sub? Will it be Jason sub? We will let the world know which one is better. How about that?
Well, I hope y'all going with me. yeah, go with my sub.
We will.
That's important.
All right, Draymond, well, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you. Good luck.